What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Prodigy Coins. Today, we are going to be looking at the history of small cents. Now, before we get started, make sure you give the video a like, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you never miss a video. Now that we're past that part, why don't we go into the video? So, the first small cent that there ever was the Flying Eagle cent. I personally love this coin. I think the design is pretty amazing. It is not too complicated. It was issued from 1856 until 1858. And it is a pretty neat one. It came in small and large letter varieties. As you can see here, on the left is the small letters, and on the right is the large letters. Now, our next coin, as anybody who is a collector will probably be able to guess, will be the Indian head cent. Now, if we take a look here, the Indian cent came in laurel wreath design on the reverse in 1859, and from there on, through its production in 1909, it used the oak wreath reversed with a shield. Now, so 1859, as we said, was the only year that they used the laurel wreath reverse. The year after that, 1860, they started to use the oak wreath reverse, and they used that through 1909. 1859 through 1864, they used copper nickel for these coins. And then, once it got to, in 1864, they decided it was time, and they changed it to bronze for 1864 through the rest of its production, which ended in 1909, when we got our beloved wheat cent. Now, 1909 was a pretty crazy year for it. There was VDB initials on the back between the wheat ears in 1909, and that is what created our highly sought 1909 SVDB, which is a pretty rare coin. So, the wheat cents were our classic coin that I think everybody loves. And, yeah, so 1909 was kind of crazy because there was 1909 VDB, the 1909, 1909S, and 1909 SVDB, so there was like 4 different ones in 1909, which was pretty crazy. There were some errors, including the 1922 no D and the 1922 weak D, but we're not going to go into details about those right now. Then in 1943, they just changed the composition for 1 year and made our 1943 steel cents, and then they resumed the regularness. Now, in 1958, they said, enough of this. We've been going for 50 years, and we need a different design on the reverse. So, that is when we got our memorial cents. These are one of the big things, like, if you go and you get change from a store, it is highly likely you will get one of these in there. So, how this worked was in 1959 until 2008 these were made. in 1982, they changed the composition of our pennies from what it used to be, which was the copper alloy, and then in 1982, they changed it to a copper-plated zinc. And I find that a little weird, but I mean, they had to save money because they were so expensive to create when they started to be worth way less. So these were used from 1959 until 2008, and then we got our Lincoln Bicentennials. It uses the same obverse, but on the reverse there was 4 different designs featuring 4 stages of Lincoln's life. There was the early childhood, which you will see in the upper left corner. Then there was the formative years reverse, which you will see in the upper right-hand corner. In the lower left-hand corner, there is the professional life reverse, and in the lower right corner is the presidency reverse. And the presidency reverse is kind of interesting because instead of showing like something with the White House or something, they showed the Capitol building, which was under construction at the time, so it was just something that was going on during Lincoln's presidency. Now, in 2010, we got the one that they make now, the Shield Cent. I personally think that this is a pretty cool design. I do not save them or anything due to they're brand new and there's so many of them, so it'd kind of be illogical to save them, but I do think that this is a great design for it, which I believe is much better than the Memorial. I think it is probably one of our coins that looks the most modern as of right now. But either way, it's a pretty cool coin, and I'm pretty happy with that design. Who knows? We might not even have it in a couple years. They might not make pennies anymore, but personally, I hope they do, and I think most people hope they do. But it is a pretty neat design that we are currently using. And yeah, that's about it. So that was just a brief history of the United States small cents. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe for more awesome content like this. And I will see you next time on Prodigy Coins.